Serious story today. This is across all the news. Everybody's talking about this at the moment, and that is monkeypox. It's all over the news. The UK has so far confirmed 20 cases, and more than 80 have been identified across Europe, the US, Canada, Israel and Australia. Now, the UK government has announced that anyone at the highest risk of having caught monkeypox should now isolate for 21 days. I have to be honest with you. Yes, I didn't get to read the papers till quite late yesterday, so I had a friend and then I was with my mum. And so I sat down yesterday, a cup of tea, it's about 5 o'clock. I thought, I'm just going to have a look through the papers, you know, the magazines. And I started to read about monkeypox, and I have to say, to my shame perhaps, I went, do you know what, I just can't read this today, because I started seeing isolation and, you know, not lockdown, but, you know, stay inside. And I just thought, I'll probably have to look at this tomorrow, but right now it's a beautiful day, it's Sunday, and I just couldn't get my head round it. I suppose, Denise, we're going to have to talk about it because everybody is talking about it.
I don't think it will surprise many people to know what my views of the already scaremongering. And believe you me, I do know the difference between reporting news and scaremongering. But there are certain words that are already being used which are used to generate fear. And when we used to talk about staying home if you were poorly, now we talk about isolating and quarantining. We've just come out of a horrendous 3 years where people are trying to find some kind of mental balance after everything that was thrown at us with COVID, especially people like you, Kelly, who have an immune disease. And, you know, you have to be careful more than most people. But at the moment, and again, people will go, oh, listen to Professor Welch, never professed to be like that. Mine has always been about how this affects mental health, and I can see it starting again. So, yesterday, I spoke to 2 very, very highly qualified people in infectious diseases who have said that they are very angry with already the way that they can see this happening in the press. At the moment, there are very, very few cases. Yes, of course, it's something they should keep an eye on. There was also an outbreak in 2017 and 18, and of course, because we weren't on such high alert, we weren't aware of it. Now we seem to be aware of, you know, of absolutely everything.
Well,
so
I suppose
personally, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Monkeypox, if you haven't read about it, it's a rare viral infection. It belongs to the same virus family as smallpox, but does have milder symptoms. The disease was first found in monkeys, and it's transmitted through close physical contact. 20 cases at the moment in the UK, Kelly. How worried are you? Because, you know, you have a compromised immune system and you had to, you know, go through COVID. You've been OK, thank goodness. Does this kind of thing frighten you, or are you trying to just stay calm about it?
It doesn't frighten me, but I'd rather be informed. So I'm not afraid, but I'd rather know that it's there. I'd rather know that there are cases in the UK, and I'd rather be aware of that. Because that way I can be a little bit more conscious of that and maybe make a few more kind of decisions that maybe I wouldn't make otherwise. At the moment, well, there are only 20 cases, and that's fine. But for me, I once had a viral infection on my hand, and because I don't have the immune system to be able to fight that infection, it took 6 months for it to go and several rounds of treatment, and it spread everywhere. So for me, I know that if I were to contract monkeypox, it could be very difficult for me to get rid of it. So for me, I would just take extra precautions.
I think I am scratching
I would just take extra precautions. But I'm just glad that we're informed that it's there and that it's present and what the effects are.
Yeah, well, it says, Judi, the infection usually clears up on its own and it lasts between 14 and 21 days. And basically, they're saying it is contagious. So they're recommending that you isolate for 21 days. Also advising to provide details for contact tracing.
Contact tracing.
The thing is, I think, obviously, if it's something life-threatening, then we need to be informed. And what we have realised from COVID is sometimes with infections, we don't know. But there's something you said, Denise, regards to, you know, there was an outbreak, you know, about 3 years ago. I remember 3 years ago, my kids had it deemed to be chickenpox, but when I looked at the rash and all the other information that's been given, it looked like how this, I used to call it money box. I didn't realise it was called monkeypox. Yeah, but it looked like that. So I suppose it just innate more worry and more concern, yes, for risks issues, we should be informed if we can see that gradually it's causing a risk to life. But I think we're already still going through
the trauma
of the
That's why
pandemic.
people, Denise, aren't they? They're sensitive to it because we think, oh, no,
We think,
it's
please, just as we're getting our freedoms
been
back,
one
and it
thing after
doesn't.
another.
Yeah, and the other thing is, very quickly, is that there are certain sections that are trying to already pin it onto the LGBT community, which to me, they are, which to me is saying that that is a more promiscuous community, which is really annoying me because apparently there is no evidence of that at the moment.
No.
Thank you.
Well, let us know what you think about that. I'm sure we'll talk about it more over the coming days if it continues to be in the news. Obviously, we always do talk about what's in the news.